I always saw that when I told people my dad is a manager of a fast food restaurant, they'd be like, oh, that must really stink, you know.
Well, you hear a lot of them joke about, oh, you're just going to go flip hamburgers. Well, I'm going to tell you, flipping hamburgers is not that easy.
What you have just heard is a common noise you can find in various fast food restaurants across America during a busy lunch hour. Here's my dad, John Root, successful real estate agent. Here's my mother, Val, a businesswoman who oversees 50 magazine and book departments across Utah. People would say that my family hasn't made, and they're kinda right. My parents raised 10 kids, and none of us turned out to be complete, total losers. For wondering what this has to do with the fast food industry, I'll tell you. My dad worked in that environment for 30 years. It wasn't easy. Remember that annoying sound at the beginning of this film? My dad dealt with that for 30 years. 30 years, man. Don't ask me how my dad's real estate shenanigans started. It just did. I went to see my brother Jeff to get his opinion about my dad. My brother Jeff followed in my dad's footsteps as manager of Sonic.
I remember growing up, and I never realized it. I was a little kid, and when my dad would come home from a long day and he wouldn't make very much pay, just enough pay to get by or just enough pay to go into a little bit of debt, I didn't know. We had a big backyard. I played in the mud.
My support came from my children. They were very brave, and they knew what was going on. And without the support of our children, they kept me going. He averaged about 80 hours a week. And having a family and the father being gone that long, you attempt to incorporate your children into work so we can still work as a family. Not very many vacations were ever taken.
When I had all my kids working, we would probably be the best team, best restaurant fast food team in the world. Everybody knew exactly what to do. You didn't have to say anything.
As one child after another came along, things were a little bit tighter, but it had a good outcome. They're very close. They have a tendency to be each other's best friends. John contracted hepatitis, and I had to take over our business. At one point in time, we did parking lot sweeping and commercial landscape maintenance, and I took two of my sons, Tyler and Russell, out, pulled them out of school for a few weeks, and it was quite devastating. We pulled them out, I pulled them out of school, and we were out sweeping parking lots all night long for a couple of weeks on our own while John had to recuperate at home, and we weren't sure if he was going to make it or not. It didn't look good for a long time, and back then, having a large family and being self-employed, medical insurance was pretty much unheard of that you could afford. So
Was this back when you were 8 months pregnant?
Yes, it was, and I believe I was pregnant with Billy. And so, yeah, I was 8 months pregnant, sweeping parking lots at night.
Well, I felt like that I was going to die because I had been so sick for about 10 days. I had hepatitis, and the doctors couldn't seem to figure out what it was. And I remember laying in bed, and I had all the kids come in and kneel down around our bed, and I asked them all just to each say a prayer that everything would be okay, regardless of what happened to me. And I remember them praying. I felt like I was saying goodbye to them at the time, and so sick I really didn't want to live, but I wanted to leave knowing that my children were okay with it.
And we got through it, and with no complaints with any of our children. I had my 12-year-old daughter, taught her how to do billing. I had another son doing maintenance on our vehicles, on our trucks. And all this time, John could not get out of bed. But there was a time where we really thought we were going to lose him. And I thought I was going to be a widow with 10 children, and that he wouldn't allow that to happen. So he pulled through, and he got better, and we were all in it together. And even from the littlest tiny ones, knowing that they were helping out, they were helping Mom, they were taking care of the house, and they all pulled together. And it was situations like this that really made our family close. Every single one of them's born with a different personality. And that's what's fun about having a lot of children, is to watch their personalities bloom as they grow older and to see where they're going to go in life. And sometimes there's a lot of heartbreak, and others there's so much joy.
We were blessed with really good kids, so actually I didn't do anything. My wife's terrific and is responsible for this great family that we have.
But I was the disciplinarian, and your father was the fun one, and we decided to keep it that way, because that way there would be a little bit of happiness and a little bit of discipline going on at the same time, and we, it worked out really, really well. So I think I ended up being the one that everybody came to with their problems, and Dad was the one that everybody came to when they wanted to have fun.
Everybody in my family loves my dad. Nobody turned on him. Nobody hated him for working the way he did.
It's the best thing we ever did.